Okay guys, I'm demonstrating something called step and repeat inside of Adobe InDesign. And I've got a red square right here. All I'm going to do is make sure that it's selected. You can tell it's selected because there's a bunch of little blue squares around it. And then I'm going to go to the edit menu and choose step and repeat. When you choose step and repeat, another window is going to open up. This window opens up and there should be a preview checkbox. If you check preview, you can see the preview of the grid that's going to be formed. The really useful part about this interface is that if you highlight the vertical offset or horizontal offset, if you highlight one of these values, you can use your up and down arrow keys to change that value. You can make it bigger or smaller by using up or down. Okay, you could also just type in a value, but sometimes it's easier to just highlight the whole number and then use up or down arrows. Of course, you've got these little up and down arrows that you can click on, but I think it's a lot faster just to quickly reach over to your arrow keys on your keyboard. Okay, of course, there's also the ability to increase or decrease the rows or columns, and that's how you can quickly create a grid. Now, I'm going to show you guys another exercise where we've got an image frame. Okay, usually we use these image frames to place images with Command D, and then you can just place an image in there. Okay. However, maybe before I place any image in there, I might use step and repeat to create a grid. Okay, of course, this frame is a lot bigger than that red square, so I've got to increase this vertical distance. Okay, and I also have to increase the horizontal distance. Okay, maybe I've got too many columns, so I'll just shrink that down. Okay, so that's one way to create image grid. And of course, now I'm ready to place some images in here, so I could just hit Command D. And don't forget that you can hold down Shift and select more than one image at a time. Now let's say I want every other image. Instead of holding down Shift, hold down Command, and you can pick and choose every other one, or maybe there's just like a certain animal or a certain image that you want to make sure you don't have selected, or maybe you've got some other files in here that you have to skip over. So holding Shift will let you just instantly pick a whole entire row, a whole entire column. But if you want individual images, hold Command and you can pick and choose. Okay, if you're on a PC, hold Control. Now I've got a whole bunch of images selected. I'm just showing you guys that you can select multiple images before placing. And look at that little number on the thumbnail. It says 11. If I use my left and right arrow keys, I can toggle through my thumbnails. I can toggle through and get a preview of which image I want to start with. Let's say I want to start with only aquatic animals that can swim. So that turtle looks like a good one. Ducks can swim. That looks like a fish. Okay, that's some kind of polar bear or something, so I'm going to switch over. And you can toggle through. Okay, you can also hit escape if you decide, hey, you know what, I'm not going to put any pigs in here, so I'm going to hit escape. It's going to just delete that image out of the whole library, and escape will just cancel any of those images. Okay, so using that, selecting multiple images is really useful. Okay, I'm going to show one more thing. I'm creating a brand new document with no frames made. Okay, guys, there's no frames here, and I'm just going to hit Command D. This might sound crazy, but you can actually place images without even having a frame ready for it. I'm going to hit Command D, and I'm going to choose this whole list of animal pictures, and then I'm going to hold Command and click on this turtle because I don't want some of these InDesign images getting placed. They wouldn't even work, but I'm trying to skip over. So I use Command to add to that selection, and I've got 12 images. How do I know I have 12 images loaded up? Because if you look closely, there's a really small number 12 right on my thumbnail there. And I can use my arrow keys to pick which one I want to place first. I can just click and drag a box for each one of these different animals and create custom sized frames for each of these images, and it gets placed. I can use my arrow keys to skip around. I can use escape to cancel if I know I don't want to place any of these images. All right, so that's one way to work. I'm going to show you guys something else that's very similar. I've got no frames. I'm going to hit Command D and I'm going to select 12 images. Okay, you can see that number 12 on there. As an alternative to clicking and dragging individual frames, I could hold down Command and Shift. Okay, you guys can hear me holding down Command and Shift and letting go. When I hold down Command and Shift, all of a sudden it looks like my cursor has changed into some type of grid. And while I'm holding Command and Shift, I can click with my left mouse button and drag. Okay, now I'm holding down my mouse button and I let go of Command and Shift. So I've got my right hand on my mouse, I'm holding down the button as I drag, and then I let go of my left hand, and I instead move my left hand over to my arrow keys, and by using left and right, I can control how many columns I want, and by using up and down, I can control how many rows I want. Okay, since I know I've got 12 images, I think I want 3 columns and 4 rows. Boom, now I've got an animal picture in each one of these frames. That was very, very quick. And I'm going to show you guys how to automatically fit to the frame. There's auto fit buttons, but if you use all 3 modifiers, Command, Shift, Option, and the letter C, you can quickly use that keyboard command to fit to window. Again, that's all 3 modifiers. That's Shift, Command, and Option together, and the letter C. So Command, Shift, Option, C will fit to window. You could also use Command, Shift, Option, E. Command, Shift, Option, E pretty much fits to the whole frame instead of filling up the window. But I prefer using Shift, Option, Command, C. All right, those are a bunch of different options for placing images using step and repeat. Very, very powerful if you're creating something like a yearbook where you've got a lot of images to fill, a lot of frames that you need to fill with images, or just a lot of images you want to quickly place into a brochure or another type of document. Just pick your images and just drag them in there, and you can control the placement of them afterwards. Like, you know, I can always move these around and make some slight adjustments afterwards. Okay, try that out.